Hi guys, back with another video. Just gonna talk about the Aspire Cileto Exo tank. I know these have been out for a while, but I picked mine up last week. I went into the EC shop looking for something else and ended up coming out of one of these. The reason I hadn't already bought one is because I didn't really want a 2mm tank, but I decided to give it a go. I'm sure that everyone comes in the same packaging as the other Cileto range tanks, but you don't get a spare glass with this one, and you get a spare drip tip instead and no vape band. Obviously that's because of the metal around the glass, so hopefully Aspire, you're right and I don't break this because there's no spare glass or anything in there. Not quite sure why they haven't done, why the airflow's fixed on this, because I know it's like the metal around it, but you've got like the Apex tank, which is almost as covered as this, in fact maybe a little bit more, and that's got airflow control, so I don't know why they didn't do that. But the actual design of the tank itself is really nice. The airflow's not bad, it's easy to fill, just take the top off like the others, pull this off, unscrew the coil, Bob's your uncle, you're done. The real thing that I was disappointed with was the Exo coils. I'll show you, you've got one here. They're bigger than the normal Cileto coils, but not as big as the 120 coils. Personally, I don't know why Aspire didn't make this compatible with the 120 coils rather than the original Cileto coils, because the 120 coils are better, and maybe if this had been it would have been compatible, I would have bought this straight away, but I knew it wasn't and I wasn't bothered. But anyway, these coils are the worst I have tried out of any of the Cileto tanks. This is the one that came in it, the taste isn't there. I mean, I'll show you. You get a fair bit of vapour off it, but it tastes like crap. It really does taste bad. Nothing like what you'd expect from one of these tanks. The taste on these tanks is normally spot on, and one of the best for taste, I think the 120 is. But for some reason the coil that came in there is just not very good at all. I mean, the high wattage range, pick this one up, I'll be able to tell you, I can't remember off the top of my head. Yeah, that's it. They're from 60 to 100 watts, which is 20 watts under the 120 coils. So you'd expect the same sort of performance from them. I mean, you need to at least have it at 60. I tried it under 60 at first to see if the taste would improve. Because with the normal Cileto coils, I could never get it over a certain wattage, even though it was supposed to go over that wattage without it starting to be burnt. But this doesn't taste burnt, it just tastes nasty. And it's not the e-liquid, because it's the same e-liquid I use in all my tanks. And that's at 60 watts. I just come to expect better from them, I think. The second coil, that is this one, tasted better. Not as good as the 120, but better than the one that's in it. So I used this for a couple of hours and it came apart. I took the top off to put more e-liquid in and it fell apart. So if you can see, it's rattling. I pushed it back down, but a bit of the, I don't know if it'll focus on there, some of the cotton came out that covers this circle up normally, is gone, and the top bit is just rattling around in there because I couldn't get it back together properly. I did put it back in and it worked. In fact, it was better with the bit of cotton off because the airflow was better, but obviously that's supposed to be there and you're just going to get juice in your mouth. So I'm not impressed with these coils at all. No. Luckily, what saved this tank from me just binning it or giving it away was the original Cileto coils. The only good thing about this tank is when you put one of these in it. I'm going to put this in for you and show you how it vapes, you know, compared to the one that's in here. So yeah, I'll be back in a second. Back, so yeah, now I've got the normal cileto coil in there. Now there's obviously a benefit to this straight off the bat. It's going to make your tank bigger. It's now holds 3.5 ml of e-liquid instead of 2, which was, I think, Aspire's way of getting around the 2 ml tank limit, which is, you know, clever, backwards compatible. I mean, that is a good thing. I'm not going to say it isn't, and probably the reason they didn't use the 120 coils, because they're obviously a lot bigger. They would have had to make the tank bigger, but it could have been done. There's no tank size limit, there's an e-liquid limit, so you could have the tank as big as you want as long as it holds just 2 ml of e-liquid. But anyway, so yeah, with the original coil in there, I mean, this is at half of the wattage that I had the exo coil on, because it's a normal one, so I've only got it at 32 watts. The vape is so much better, and it's got more airflow with this coil in there, so you're getting much more air through it. I found it a little bit, I mean, I've not had these coils in since I bought it, so I've only just been vaping on it again then for you, and it's a little bit too tight for me. I mean, like, it's manageable, but I prefer a little bit more airflow. So the other thing as well, which is surprising, the cileto coils, I have got an original cileto, I haven't used it since I got the 120, but the coils work better, my personal opinion. I think the cileto coils work better in this than they do in the original cileto tank. Don't know why, whether it's to do with the airflow being different, the way the tank's made, but I enjoy the coils more in this than I do in the original. So I'm guessing, depending on what you're looking for really, would I advise getting one of these. If you're looking for a, you know, you want to be vaping at high wattages, I wouldn't bother, because the exo coils are just terrible. Even when I had the other one working, it was better, but the taste was still nowhere near what you get off one of these or a 120 coil. I would just, I mean, I know you're in the UK, you can't go into an e-cig shop and buy a 120, but you can still get them. They're online, they're everywhere. So I would just stick with one of them if you want to vape high wattage. If you're not bothered about that, get one. Put a normal coil in there and it's a brilliant tank. I do love this and I use it nearly every day. It's one of my main tanks now with the normal cileto coils. So yeah, I like it. I'm really disappointed, Aspire, with this. They are just crap. I don't know what happened here. You was onto a really good thing with these tanks, but they're shit. So that's it really. The only other thing, again, I don't know why they do this. You can put normal drip tips on here, but they look ridiculous because the thing's sticking out. Why can't they have it inside so you can use normal drip tips? Who knows? They did it with the original one, then the 120 was fixed, and they've gone back to the original design with this. But you still got to get custom drip tips because they look really stupid. So that's about it really. The only other thing I wanted to mention, because if I didn't realise before I bought this, only the UK version is 2 ml. If you get the not European, because that's all 2 ml too, but if you get the, you know, the other version that's not TPD, it is actually a 3.5 ml tank with the exo coils in. So I'm guessing it would go up to a, I don't know, 4 or 5 ml tank with a normal coil. If I'd have known that, I would have got one off Fast Tech weighted and had the bigger version. So just thought I'd put that out there as well for all of you in the UK. You can still get them on Fast Tech. I mean, if you're not bothered about weighting, I'd do that and get the bigger version, but that's me. So that's really it. I was just shocked, really, how terrible the coils were for this. But the original coil saved it. Okay guys, thank you for watching.